SmartCarb.
Welcome to the XTNG channel. And today we're testing the famous SmartCarb SC2 Smart Carburetor. This is the 36M version, and we're here to see if its performance lives up to the hype. We'll be conducting a low RPM torque test on this 30-sloped forest trail. The test will be done in both 1 ST and 2 N gear to see how low the ERPM can drop in each gear. This is exactly the kind of torque performance we care about most in forest riding.
Oh, sorry.
We use the factory recommended a Q9 metering rod.
1140 1200左右，看一下油门响应。稍等，我调一下。
After warming up the engine, we fine-tuned the metering rod and idle based on throttle response.
我向农的方向调了。
We ended up locking the metering rod at 78 clicks.
1200左右，再试下油门响应。OK。第一档啊，第一档。
First gear, no clutch used. The front wheel lifts effortlessly, great torque performance.
哦，非常有劲儿。
And I didn't use the clutch at all.
非常有劲儿，我全程不用离合器啊。
Pay attention to the numbers on the tachometer.
哇哦，非常有劲儿。我靠！
1,500. 1,380. 1,320. We can see the lowest RPM drop to 1,320. That's excellent torque performance. The bike is a 2017 Yamaha YZ250X with an OEM cylinder and head, and it has a total runtime of 18 hours. It's equipped with an OEM CDI 13-tooth front sprocket and 50-tooth rear sprocket. We're using Motul 710 low flash point fully synthetic 2-stroke oil with 92-octane ethanol-free unleaded gasoline at a 50:1 fuel-to-oil ratio. One ST gear, no clutch needed throughout. The tire got stuck in a gap, just a small mistake. The torque performance isn't bad. Pay attention to the numbers on the tachometer.
Wow. 1620
1,620.
1320，
1,320.
它最低不能低于1380或者1320，最低。
We found that the ERPM cannot drop below 1,320 or 1,380. Honestly, the low RPM torque performance is decent, but it's obvious that it can't compare to the low RPM torque of our Gene 3 plus 36. The Gene 3 plus 36 can drop down to 12 RPM or even lower. This is the performance after precise SC2 adjustments. You can hear the crisp sound of the engine. SmartCarb recommends 80 clicks, but I richened it a bit. The final setting was 78 clicks. The screen displays altitude, slope, speed, and other information provided by the Garmin camera's GPS data array. This data is not authoritative and is for reference only. Now, let's conduct the 2N gear torque test.
二档 second gear，
Again, without using the clutch. We almost couldn't get the front wheel off the ground.
二档直接起头不行的，不行，no。
Despite multiple attempts.
注意它的转速啊，转
Pay attention to the tachometer.
second gear。 哦 ，come on， 1740。
1,740. The engine stalled at 1,740 RPM.
1740
However, in practice, to prevent stalling, the RPM must stay above 1,800.
前转啊，我们一会儿爬这个坡的时候要适当的注意一下油门。
Let's give it another shot. Two in gear, no clutch needed throughout. Pay attention to the tachometer.
哇，已经脱档严重。
Again, it's around 1,860. Both times, the engine stalled below 2,000 RPM. Let's try again. This time, we need to be careful with the throttle control.
一档，二档，
Two in gear, no clutch. This time, the engine stalled right here. Two in gear, no clutch.
注意转速表啊。
This time, we successfully lowered the minimum RPM to 1860.
1860。
1,860.
Come on! Oh! 1860。
The top-end performance is incredible. The power release is absolutely wild. It's like a raging beast.
非常棒。哦吼吼！你看它的转速下不去。
Look closely. The idle has hung up. This issue has never occurred in previous tests with other carburetors. Usually, this could indicate a very subtle air leak. This engine was just fully rebuilt and passed all sealing tests. To prevent any air leakage from the carburetor itself, I even sealed off the SC2 choke system completely with glue. Additionally, this issue can occur if the carburetor metering rod is set too lean. However, if we richen the metering rod, for example, to 68 clicks, while the idle stabilizes and low-end performance improves, the top end becomes too rich. The RPM can't reach its peak. Fuel consumption also increases noticeably. Typically, SmartCarb will recommend a free metering rod replacement, but keep in mind that you'll need to pay at least $30.50 in shipping costs. If you're outside the US or Europe, you'll face even higher shipping fees and import duties. And waiting time is also a cost. What's more, replacing the metering rod doesn't guarantee perfection. It might improve things or it could make them worse. If you're particularly lucky, you might achieve the ideal performance you're after. Usually they'll recommend switching to a metering rod labeled a Keihin. We purchased this rod, and based on our previous tests, its low-end performance is worse. After richening the rod, the top end became unavoidably too rich again. So yes, you'll ultimately face a trade-off. If you're chasing extreme performance on both ends, compromise is inevitable. This is why we always recommend our users opt for multi-fuel circuits. It's also why Lectron introduced the Lectron Pro series. Next, we'll be testing the fuel efficiency of the S2.
1, 2, 1, 2, fuck you!